Today, I'm spilling the beans on how much I spent upgrading a completely stock Parker 2320 into a complete tuna wrecking machine. I'm talking new Suzuki repower, full functional Tuna Tower, electronics, bait tank, ice storage, flux capacitor, and all the juicy details so you can do it too. Hustle and fish, let's go.
I always find the fish, always.
Welcome back to another episode of Hustle and Fish, where I take all my expertises as a six-pack tuna charter captain, founder of a lifestyle brand, a core offshore clothing company, and now a C10 electrical contractor, Rock Electric, and share it with all you guys, all in the pursuit of freedom. That's right. That's right. My goal here is to simply help any craftsmen, dreamers, fishermen pursue their passion, maybe monetize and make a few couple bucks and fish their heart out in the process. So today, foremost, I hope my wife doesn't watch this episode because it could be trouble. And disclaimer for all you husbands out there, this ain't the video you want to watch with your spouse or girlfriend. Maybe watch this one on the road. So just go ahead and turn it off right now. After that, clear the history and you'll be good to go. Now, let's get to the money I spent upgrading a completely stock Parker 2320. When it comes to money and fishing, which is my passion, I got my own philosophy, okay? I don't keep record of what I spend when it comes to my passion. I just don't. Now, I keep records of everything else. I can still recall a Disney cruise vacation. My kids left the AC on. We came back home. I had a big bill. That was over 10 years ago, and I still ain't forgot, okay? Just to say, when it comes to my passion, I don't keep records of how much I spent because it's priceless to me. We're all gonna die here. Life is short, but for the sake of this video and guys who want to do this, I'm going to expose some numbers today. Let's start with the complete game changer, the Suzuki 300 that I absolutely love. I've had it for 5 years. I'm just about at 1,500 hours. No regrets. No regrets. Now, the sticker price on that bad boy, I think it was around 29 racks out the door. I got a deal. Shout out to my boys, Brian Gutierrez, my man Jerome, who had the plug with Suzuki and got me hooked up for $24,000 cold cash. Now, that right there was one of the best investments of the kids' college money that I ever spent. Now, there's a story behind this that you need to hear. It will help you. Do not let the 30K scare you, okay? I was fishing back in 2018 behind San Clemente Island when it was just going off, okay? On my way back home, about 7 p.m., the old Yamaha Blue started making this loud clanking sounds. Clank, 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 clank. Fortunately, my man Billy K was out there, got on the radio, told him what I was hearing. I was still a rookie. He walked me through it. He was like, Ralph, your engine is gone. I think he said he's been there before. And called in vessel assist and got towed in. 12-hour tow home. I had a lot to think about, okay? There was a lot of fear on my mind. Like, you know, I just started the season. This was my first year. And I did not have that kind of money for a new boat. So I made a decision instantly. And it was just as simple as this. I said to myself, I think Jesus wants me to have a brand new Suzuki 300. And I stuck to the story just like that. So when I got back on land, started getting phone calls, people asking, hey, what happened yesterday? So I'm not sure what happened, but I think Jesus wants me to have a brand new Suzuki 300. Maybe it wasn't Suzuki. I just said 300 because at that time, now that I recall, I was going to get a Yamaha. So I stand corrected. I was saying, I think Jesus wants me to have a brand new Yamaha 300. I only went Suzuki because 2 reasons. Yamaha was backed up at the time and I had to wait 6 months. And then the blessing came where my man Brian, like I said, hooked me up with Jerome. Jerome had the plug at Suzuki and I got a cash deal for 24 racks. So remember, guys, don't ever count yourself out just because of a stupid number, okay? You got to overcome it in your mind at least. You may not have the cash to do it, but don't rule yourself out because that's what I typically used to do. I used to just look at a number and said, oh, I can't have that, and just look the other way. And then as I started to mature and grow in finance, not really finance, but just grow in confidence, I didn't look at numbers and get scared anymore. And just thought to myself, everything is attainable with God, with hustle and passion. Now, let's talk about the Tuna Tower that I've been dreaming about for 5 years. And, you know, as I was thinking about this episode, I finally reflected like, man, I never take time to do inventory on dreams that have come true. You know, after one dream comes true, you go to the next and go to the next and next and next and next. But thank God, man, I've had some dreams come true, man. And a Tuna Tower was definitely one of those dreams. And I remember how it all started. You know, Billy K put the seed in my brain. You know, one day we were tuna fishing. I couldn't see the tuna. He called me in and he was just like, basically like, Ralph, you couldn't see those tuna? And I was like, bro, I couldn't see them. And he was like, man, you need to get a Tuna Tower. And ever since then, bro, I've been drooling about a Tuna Tower. So anyways, let me hit you with the price of the Tuna Tower. Roughly around $15,000 to $18,000 I spent on a Tuna Tower. I never really did the math. You know, I just saved my money. I just stacked it and I kind of paid as I went. And not till today, I started doing the inventory. Not till last night, I started doing the inventory. How much did I really spend? I think a part of me didn't want to know how much I really spent on a Tuna Tower. But for those who want to know, it was around $15,000 to $18,000. Once again, do not let that price discourage you. It's just a stupid number, okay? Back in the days, $1,800 would scare me. Now, I'm talking 18 mil doesn't really scare me. You know, it's just a stupid number and maybe it's attainable, maybe it's not. But what is possible is for you to say, I can do it. I can raise $18,000. How hard is that just to say that? I can raise $18,000 and get a Tuna Tower. It's just words. It's just the mind thinking. And sometimes we can't even overpower our mind to think such a thing, you know? And that's a big hindrance for any fisherman. And I'm here to kill that noise. Now, let me give you a story about the Tuna Tower because even though you have the money for a Tuna Tower, doesn't mean you can get the Tuna Tower. Because when I had my money saved, I didn't have all of it. When I started making phone calls to get a tower, and there's only one place I would recommend to go get a tower, and that's Fishing Boats Unlimited in Costa Mesa. I was there back in the day when my man Billy was getting his tower done, and I was just fortunate to go with him and as he was placing his order, and I was just looking around and I was like, man, one day it'll be my turn to come in here, talk to Tony and get my tower. And for those who don't know Tony, man, he's a legend in my book. Humble man, very knowledgeable. He's one of us. He just pursued the passion and built an amazing facility. He does a lot more than Tuna Towers, but I was just happy to finally go in there and say, hey, Tony, I'm ready to build my tower. But it started with some phone calls. Let me explain. So I got sidetracked. So I started calling, hey, Tony, I want to get my tower made. Yeah, Ralph, what is it? You took some notes. Called them about a month later. Hey, can I bring it in? No, we're backed up. And that kind of just was the story for a while. Like, they're backed up. I call. And it just wasn't happening, and the guys are busy, okay? I get it. And then I just started to show up. Hey, Tony, what's going on, man? It's Ralph. I'm ready for my tower. Hey, Ralph, come on in. Let's talk about it. We started to kind of get some sketches in on what I wanted. And I'll call back in a couple of weeks, and nothing was happening yet. It was no disrespect to Tony and Fishing Boats Unlimited. It's just that those guys get busy. Finally, I came in on a rainy day, and this time I brought some cash. I said, Tony, got this envelope for you. I'm serious about my tower, and I want to get it done. And then we started to make some progress. I'm not going to say it was the money, because it wasn't about the money. It was more about, just checking in, calling, showing up. And I really wanted that tower, and it was perfect timing because it was ready for the season of 2020, I think. I don't know. Then I eventually got to meet Jason, and then once he got involved in my project, it started to flow. And man, Jason is so knowledgeable that he just started to say, hey, Ralph, maybe we should do this. We should do that. One thing I did want to do for sure was I wanted the bucket seats, which is mandatory. You have to spend the extra money and get the bucket seats, because now that I have them, I just love going in those bucket seats and tucking in. It's a game changer, because I recall calling Jason one day, and I said, send me some pictures, man. I'm getting very anxious. And he sent me some pictures, and for some reason, there was a bench seat on the tower. And I was like, nope, that's got to get removed. I requested bucket seats. And a part of me almost wanted to leave it in to save a few pennies, maybe a few hundreds. But I'm so glad I made that call and said, no, I need the bucket seats. And they took it off and changed it and fixed it. And now here it is. Remember, this is for a full functional tuna tower, okay? I could drive. I could find fish on my plotter. I got radio. I got digital trim tabs. All the bells and whistles I got in the pilot house, I got in the tower. That's why it's a little more expensive, but totally worth it. Okay, now let's talk about the electronics, okay? All the electronics in the pilot house. Doing the math, I roughly spent about $7,000, okay? But let me mention, guys, everything that I'm referencing didn't happen overnight. It wasn't 1 year I had everything. This was 4 years in the making, okay? 4 years in the making building this dream Parker of mine. First thing I got was a 9-inch Simrad with just a total scan transducer, and that got me by. That got me by for a whole year catching fish, okay? I did not have autopilot my first year, okay? And that was back in 2018 when we were not using the frozen flying fish. We were using the kite, and we were trolling with the plastic yummy, okay? Now, flying the kite, trolling a plastic yummy with no autopilot, and not having no experience was a complete challenge. I'm telling you, it was hard. So the following year, when I made an upgrade, which was autopilot, oh my God, did I appreciate it. I appreciate autopilot Thank you, Simrad. Thank you, the engineers. Thank you for the people who invented such an amazing thing for us fishermen or just boaters, period. Because now I'm driving about 3 to 4 hour drives on autopilot to get to the zone. And I recall them long drives, bro. Just struggling like this. Everyone's talking and if you're not paying attention, bro, like I wasn't at times, kites get tangled. Oh my, I could just that's gonna be another episode. I'm gonna do another episode of all the bloopers that I did as a young new fisherman on a Parker 2320. But let's proceed. Now, for the biggest and baddest bait tank that has ever been installed on a Parker 2320, I'm talking about a custom BGH Offshore Series 80-gallon tank, okay? 80-gallon tank. They retail for $3,000 roughly. Of course, I got the hookup. Shout out to Precision Marine, John Woods. Man, those guys are the best guys in the business for bait tanks, in my opinion. I remember just talking about what I wanted to do as far as bait, and those guys blew my mind over there. They just know so much. Now, there was a lot of talk about putting an 80-gallon bait tank on a small Parker 2320. But this ain't just any 80-gallon bait tank, okay? This is the triple option BGH Offshore Series 80-gallon bait tank. It has the option for 50 gallons, which is cool. It has the option for 80 gallons. When I say 80 gallons, people get alarmed, okay? I'm not going to run a full load of guys with 80 gallons, but if I'm there with maybe 2 guys, 80-gallon bait tank, do you know how many scoops of bait we could get in there? I'm talking about enough to set up shop. Wouldn't have to go to Nacho. Come see me. $100 scoop of bait. Nah, I'm just kidding. But the main reason I love that bait tank is because it holds gold, aka fuel. It holds perfectly 6 5-gallon tanks, giving me 30 gallons of fuel, okay? Which has been a game changer many times. When you can't find fish and you got an extra 30 gallons, boy, does it come in handy. And I just love that it's so easy. I don't recommend this because, you know, it's risky carrying an extra 30 gallons of fuel. But that's what I do with full confidence, and best part of the bait tank, if you ask me, for these times that we're living in where tuna offshore can be anywhere from, you know, Dana Point all the way to Cherry Bank, and little boat like mine can make it. Now, before I get to the best mandatory ice storage bench seat, I gotta announce last week's winner of my video, Going Big. The winner is Bill Graham, 9548. He weighed in at 295 pounds. The tuna taped out at 288. Congratulations, Bill. Contact me or I'll send you a DM. Either way, congratulations. We're going to get you a hat. Going to get you the classic Stay Fly classic hat that has basically changed the game for our clothing company. This design does not stop selling. It's an all-time classic. It's actually the first flying fish on anything, okay? Besides Patagonia, which I kind of saw them back in 2016. But this is the original flying fish. We call it the Stay Fly. Congratulations. It's all yours. Now, for today's contest, anyone who could guess the weight of this tuna right here put your answer in the comments. I'll find them. And then I will find you. I want to briefly thank everybody for watching my videos, subscribing to the channel. If you could just hit the like button real quick, I would sincerely appreciate it. I'm pretty stoked right now. I think we're at 1,600 subscribers. So if you're new here, please like, please subscribe. It would be sincerely appreciated. Now, for the Yeti bench seat, it's a perfect way to consolidate space and hold an extra 100 pounds of ice. It was roughly around $1,000, give or take. I actually found the Yeti brand new on OfferUp, and I got the upholstery done through Fishing Boats Unlimited, and I've been loving it ever since. My only regret is I should have got this a long time ago, because at $1,000, it's affordable. More than the Repower, more than the Tuna Tower, more than the electronics. I mean, ice is pretty much king out there when you're keeping tuna fresh. We typically run with 2 ice chests, giving us 200, plus a kill bag, another 300, and 500 pounds of ice is the best way to keep your hard-earned tuna fresh. I want to salute you guys for sticking around and watching this video all the way to the end. I consider you guys friends of the channel, and anyone friends of the channel are friends of mine. And I say that to say this: and you're fishing tuna or want to fish tuna, contact me. Send me a message. Like I said, right now, we only have 1,600 subscribers. I read everyone's comments at this point because I can. It's not a lot. And I consider you guys the ones that I'm grown with. There'll be a time where I can't answer everybody, but right now, shoot me a message. I would love to help you guys and just carry on the tradition that other guys did for me. I wouldn't be here if someone didn't take my call, someone didn't answer my message about electronics, about tuna fishing. And I'm here to even work with you guys. You guys going fishing? I'm open to share numbers and work together out there. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's a wrap. Hustle and fish. Let's go.
I always find the fish. Always.